Hello, we are consultants of the company Go Culture Consultants who specialize in intercultural communication in a business environment. Our task is to help a German pharmaceutical company called GSF Pharma. They specialize in contraceptives and fertility treatment for women. This German pharmaceutical company wants to expand their business. Our task is to help them acquire a company based in Japan. Today we will be discussing cultural analysis of both countries, doing business with the Japanese. This includes negotiation, non-verbal communication, and etiquette. Furthermore, we will be discussing perception of contraceptives, our recap, the do's and don'ts, and the conclusion. The cultural analysis. We will now take a look at Champernowne's dimension, specific versus diffuse, in order to analyze both countries. This dimension, specific versus diffuse, concerns how far people get involved with one another. In a specific culture, people's work and personal lives are separate. As a result, they believe that relationships don't really have much of an impact on work objectives. Good relationships are important, but they believe that people can work together without having a good relationship. Germany is a specific culture. In Germany, one has to be direct and to the point. Focus is on objectives before focusing on strengthening relationships. You must provide clear instructions, processes, and procedures, and also allow people to keep their work and home lives separate. In a diffuse culture, on the other hand, there is an overlap between work and personal life. People believe that good relationships are vital to meeting business objectives, and their relationships with others will be the same whether they are at work or meeting socially. People spend time outside work hours with colleagues and clients. Japan is a diffuse culture and mixes work life with personal life. The focus is on building a good relationship before focusing on business objectives.
Business culture. In this segment, we discuss business culture of both countries and also reconcile arising issues. Business in Japan has a family culture. Everyone has a distinct place in the hierarchy, be it in the family unit, the extended family, a social or business situation. In this culture, the boss is regarded as the fatherly figure, and employees are rewarded for loyalty. On the other hand, Germans do not have family culture, they have Eiffel Tower culture. This means that they are task-oriented, and roles at work come before people. Thus, colleagues are not seen as family. Furthermore, positions and promotions are based on professional qualifications instead of loyalty. We see that in both cultures, employees are seen and treated differently. When GSF Pharmaceuticals wants to acquire a Japanese company, both parties will have to reconcile here. Japanese reward employees based on tenure, however, Germans reward based on performance. To keep all employees satisfied and motivated, we therefore reward employees based on both loyalty and performance in order to achieve a win-win situation. Next, we discussed business etiquette and negotiation, and reconcile arising issues in this area. Germany is heavily regulated and extremely bureaucratic. When doing business, Germans are very strict on time and rules. When negotiating, they will be highly direct to the point of bluntness. But in Japan, this form of directness before socializing is seen as impolite. They prefer to do business on the basis of personal relationships. Furthermore, they practice specific business etiquette involving the exchange of business cards, bowing when introducing themselves, and only using men in conducting business matters. In the negotiation process, Japanese do not see contracts as final agreements and are flexible with alterations. In order to reconcile differences in business negotiations, both cultures will have to respect each other's cultural differences. GSF Pharmaceuticals have to focus on building more of a relationship before conducting business in Japan. And regarding negotiations, Japanese will have to learn to keep to mutual agreements and be more adamant, while Germans will have to learn to be more flexible in contracts.
Having discussed business negotiations and etiquette, GSF Pharma will have to take into consideration how contraceptives are viewed in Japan. In Japan, it took a very long time to review the pill before actually legalizing it, because of concerns regarding the negative side effects concerning women's hormonal balances and health in general. Japanese only legalized the contraceptive pill 17 years ago, decades after it was legalized in Germany. Currently in Japan, the quality of contraceptive pills are quite low. This has caused very harmful side effects to women in the past, which is why it is now viewed negatively. Currently, abortions and condoms are what they use for birth control, and only 2% of Japanese women use the pill. However, German contraceptive products are of better quality, which will cause Japanese to have a more positive outlook towards the pill and will be more willing to use them. GSF Pharmaceutical will have to take this into account and work on a positive marketing and advertising strategy, and work on gaining positive reviews on their products in the Japanese community. Now let us recap. Issues that GSF Pharma would encounter when acquiring the Japanese company are: first, how differently employees are treated in the host country; second, how business negotiations are conducted; and third, non-verbal gestures to take into account. Do's: socialize outside of work with Japanese business partners. This will help to build a relationship before talking business negotiations. Also, be aware of non-verbal gestures that may come across as offensive. Don'ts: don't rush business meetings. Do not grab your host's hands when first meeting them and give it a hearty shake. Japanese would find this offensive. Lastly, don't be too strict when making agreements and be open to changes. In conclusion, when both parties follow these reconciliation methods, a win-win situation would be achieved. Thank you for choosing Go Culture Consultants.